Vault Veritas. SCP Files. Episode 21. Chittering Shadows. Say that again for the recording, pretty please.
I still don't like that you have that recorder. The tapes will be confiscated and screened. I hope you realize that.
Not by you, that's for sure. Come on, repeat that line again.
No.
Fine, I'll say it. Niall, you incredibly handsome man, I can't stop coming back here to talk to you. You're the most interesting and attractive person in the world, and I just can't find it in myself to stay away from you.
Hilarious. For the record, what I actually said was, Niall, you need to stop trying to talk to and flirt with every nurse who checks on you. You're under investigation for insurrection. Don't drag them into it as well.
No. I think what you actually said was, I'm a pox who's keeping you from doing anything even remotely interesting. So don't talk to the 3 people you actually get to see each day.
Are you quite finished?
Not even close. And I think you know that.
That's cost you your toy. Give it here.
Nah.
You're a petulant child. Give the recorder to me, or I will take it from you.
Gosh golly, I'm terrified. What a big, strong man you are, bothering to threaten an injured, restrained prisoner in order to take away the one thing he currently possesses. What a hero.
You have no idea who you're messing with.
Is that what you think? That I don't know who you are or what you're about?
Prove me wrong.
Very well. Incident Report 363-Breach-02. Second Security Breach Incident involving SCP-363, colloquially known as the Not Centipedes.
What are you doing?
Object Class Keter. Risk Assessment Level High. Reported by Security Officer Seth Orson. Report made August 9th, 2016.
Hang on a second.
I can't believe what I just saw.
Stop.
I can't believe he's actually gone, and in such a gruesome manner.
Stop!
Yes, Seth?
You can't know that.
The report is available for review in the database, accessible with high enough clearance. You say I don't know you. I say I do. You asked me for proof. Is this proof enough? I'll take your silence as an invitation to continue. I can't believe what I just saw. I can't believe he's actually gone, and in such a gruesome manner. Tyler Evans, my mentor and my dear friend, is nothing but ash. I've been asked to step in as his replacement. Chief Security Officer. I've been training for this moment for years. Yet, I don't think I actually understood the gravity of the position until I saw Tyler becoming a living nest. Of all the ways to go, that has got to be the worst I've seen. Security officers roll the dice on every assignment. Are we just going to be watching on a camera? Or are we going to be fighting back an abomination that could easily rip us apart if we don't make the exact right decisions at the exact right moments? There's no room for error. I really thought Tyler understood that.
He didn't, and he paid the price.
You always knew where you stood around Tyler. He never treated people as fodder, never played into the crueler side of the Foundation. But he didn't just accept anyone. He could tell your value from a single conversation, and he'd let you know just what he saw in you. I've seen that man tear down 100 people, quietly, calmly, without truly insulting anyone once, and while never speaking anything less than the genuine, whole truth. So when he took a special interest in me as his protege, I knew he saw something in me, something worthwhile.
If he could only see me now.
I can't tell you how many crises I've watched the old officer handle. An escaped SCP, or a researcher spat, or a D-class runner, or a sudden and unexpected death. Every time, he handled it with the same calm firmness. He was in charge, and everyone knew it. I never saw him clash with anyone, not even when their values and opinions clearly conflicted. He would tell people what he thought, plainly and directly, and people would almost always listen.
Not that it mattered in the end.
SCP-363 had been successfully contained on site for years. Sure, there was that breach back in 2003, but that was 13 years ago. There hasn't been a single peep from their room again since. Although their breach was one of the worst in Foundation history, I'm betting nobody reading this report would even have heard of them. You have Tyler to thank for that, you know. It was his efficiency that kept them at bay.
And his incompetence that almost led to complete catastrophe.
SCP-363 are Scolopendra gigantea, Amazonian giant centipedes. When contained securely in a highly illuminated room, they are nothing more than that. A mass of creepy crawlies you can kill with a single footfall. But if those lights go out, you'd better pray they don't find you.
Or pray for a good, trusty flamethrower.
In darkness, they thrive, growing and twisting into massive abominations akin to those you'd find in an eldritch tale. Swarms of tentacles, mandibles, twisting masses of insect flesh and razor-like legs. The creatures hunger as they grow, and they're drawn to the body heat of any living creature nearby, and will hunt relentlessly, tirelessly, until they can tear you limb from limb to feed. And you'd better hope they're hungry when they find you. For I've witnessed the alternative, and believe me, being eaten alive is a mercy. Tyler knew well the dangers of the centipedes, and so he ran the protocols around them with extreme consistency.
And what I thought was extreme caution.
The room had multiple redundancies in place to prevent power failures, and if the backups weren't enough, there were also emergency bulkheads that could be manually closed to cordon off their wing of the facility. The staff were extremely thorough in checking clothing for any interlopers upon leaving the room between feedings. Tyler and I would also visit monthly to chat with the personnel. I always thought it was supposed to be a business meeting, screening staff for any potential risks, ensuring everyone was properly following procedure. But everything ran so smoothly that all he was doing was taking up their time. He would have such genuine concern in his voice when he spoke with them, even when the questions were so basic. "Is your husband better?" or "How was your trip to Spain?" Pointless chatter that he insisted brought up morale. It started with a failure in several backup generators, noticed during routine maintenance. Tyler and I were assured it was no immediate threat, just aging wiring that would require ongoing repairs. The primary generator was working fine, so our attention shifted elsewhere again. It was just unfortunate timing. Our experiments with an anomalously sentient computer in a different part of the facility led to a junior researcher inadvertently triggering a secondary emergency shutdown protocol, resulting in a power surge. Now, I'm no electrician, but I'll try to make sense of what I was told. Apparently, there was a cascading failure throughout the entirety of the facility. Had the wires been newer, in better condition, they may have been able to handle the extra stress, but as they were... Panicked calls started to filter in from across the facility, but we knew where our attention had to focus. We had already alerted Mobile Task Force Eta 7 and started distributing flamethrowers to security personnel when the panicked radio call came through from a young female researcher. Jessica, I think her name was, or June, I can't recall. If Tyler hadn't known her, if he hadn't been so invested in her well-being from those monthly chats,
then he would have ordered the emergency bulkheads to be sealed, thus trapping the researchers inside, and ensuring the safety of everyone else in the building at their expense.
Instead, he grabbed his own flamethrower and went after her.
Sentimentality, empathy, it's all pointless here. We deal in numbers, minimize casualties. That's what the focus should be, what it has to be.
You learned that lesson well. How could you not with what you saw? You followed Tyler there, into the fray and the chaos of the centipede-riddled darkness. You tried your best to protect him, torching a handful of the warped creatures along the way, calling out to him over and over. But when they grabbed him from behind, dragging him into the darkness. You heard the click of the mandibles and his screams as they tore into his flesh. What exactly did you see? Your report did not specify.
It burrowed into his abdomen with those mandibles, slicing through his skin as though it were water. He tried to fight back, but it used those long, sharp legs to pin him down as it pulled out the long strands of viscera from his stomach. He screamed and thrashed and begged me to save him. But the creature wasn't there to feed, and it didn't want to kill him. The venom of the centipedes, it keeps you alive, keeps you paralyzed. The perfect living nest for the incubation of their young. And they hatch quickly. What helps the little ones grow better than a helpless meal of fresh, quivering meat.
I'm surprised you didn't torch him.
As am I. I wanted to. I knew what fate awaited him. I even pointed the barrel right at them both. But I couldn't pull the trigger. MTF 807 had no such qualms about it, though.
Closing the bulkheads was the right call. I'm glad one of you had enough sense to do it.
Those lives were already lost. What I saw in there, nobody was coming back from that. I barely had time to get myself out, and we'd only just passed the threshold. And from there, I've done my best to follow his footsteps, only better. Tighten up security, take away the connections and emotions that could lead to another disaster. I'm aware of how everyone sees me, you know? I'm aware of the nicknames and the rumors and the judgment. But none of that matters. You all in the ethics department huddle together and croon about how nice it would be if we could save all the lives. But the reality is that that's never fully possible.
There are hard calls to make here. We cannot afford to be wrong.
Exactly. Well, damn. I guess you do understand me after all.
Enough to harbor no ill will about the restraints, or the whole almost shooting me incident.
Good, because I'm not apologizing for any of it.
Nor should you have to. You're ensuring that I am no risk to the Foundation. You're fulfilling your role here to the best of your ability.
Now, if you could only convince Merryweather of that.
I don't think that's possible.
Me neither. Look, I suppose I was a little rash in my treatment of you, but I stand by what I said. You do still need to stop bothering the nurses.
Fine. I would only get them into trouble anyway. Don't want them to have to undergo an investigation too. It's just a wee bit boring here, and I was trying to entertain myself.
You can keep the recorder then. And I suppose there's no harm in letting you have a book or two.
Mighty kind of you. I have several on my desk I've been working through, though. Well, if that'll be all.
my report. You knew it word for word.
My memory does that. Never got a real explanation as to how or why. It's been extremely useful for the work with the SCPs, though.
I can imagine it would be. You,
I won't share the report around. I'd offer a handshake, but well...
I'll bring you those books.
Thank you. And that, Mary Scott, is how you handle Seth Orson. Class dismissed.
Vault Veritas SCP Files is a podcast inspired by the SCP Foundation. Chittering Shadows is based on SCP-363 by Yosef Kald from the SCP Wiki located at scpwiki.com/SCP-363. It is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Share-alike 3.0 unported license. This episode featured D.R. Thompson as Niall Connors and Matthew Findison as Seth Orson. It was written and edited by Leola Angel. We welcome comments. Please rate and review us. Email us at vaultveritas@gmail.com. Join our Discord channel using the link in the episode description. Tweet us at Vault Veritas. Or for additional content, visit our Patreon. Thanks for listening.